Greetings from the Asian Productivity Organization, APO Secretariat, and welcome to our quarterly session of Productivity Trends, or P-Trends. P-Trends is a practical foresight exercise designed to help our stakeholders stay agile and regionally relevant. Rather than tracking distance megatrend, we apply a signal-based horizon scanning methodology to detect early signs of change across the productivity landscape, new discoveries, tools, and practices that can realistically shape productivity outcomes in the Asian Pacific. So to support this, we use Future Platform, a foresight intelligence system that continuously aggregates global signals and expert inputs, which are then interpreted and structured by the expert. For analytical discipline and comparability across quarters, we organize insight using STIP-V, social, technological, economic, environmental, political, and values, and map implication of that to APO productivity domains, such as agriculture productivity, green productivity, industrial productivity, public sector productivity, service sector productivity, and tools and techniques for productivity. So today's session synthesizes signals observed between October and December 2025. From thousands of foresight signals, we prioritize 6 emerging productivity trends based on 1, timeliness within the quarter, 2, relevance to productivity outcome in APO focus area, and 3, regional applicability across Asia-Pacific member economies. Supported again by Future Platform's real-time tracking from thousands of trusted sources and expert interpretation and prioritization. So as a reminder to everyone, a specific step V emphasized may vary each quarter depending on signal strength, and these trends reflect actionable signals, often visible across multiple countries, rather than speculative long horizon scenarios. So again, we are joined today by Dr. Tuomo Kuosa, Director of Future Research at Future Platform in Finland. Dr. Kuosa has been working with APO to translate scattered global signals into structured, actionable insight for productivity. So Dr. Kuosa, welcome back and thank you for being with us. So today, Dr. Kuosa will talk us through 6 emerging productivity trends for October to December 2025, spanning the step V category: social, technological, environmental, economic, political, and values. So Dr. Kuosa, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and my pleasure to be presenting you again some productivity trends tracked within past couple of months. The most influential, crucial ones I would assess within many signals detected so far. Let's go first to the methodology. It was actually already briefly introduced, but to emphasize the STIP-V logic and the APO productivity domains, which are actually steering the horizon scanning work I've been doing. The method itself is related very much to the Futures Platform database, which contains more than 1,000 future trends, but then also the news, reliable news sources detection with keywording in order to find the most influential emerging productivity trends signals. So horizon scanning is the methodology we have been used. So signals, most influential early signs, having big influence on global scale, but especially delivering influence to Asian market. The trends prioritized from the big mass of content are taken from the major changes within October and December 2025, and as already presented, the timeline is one driving factor in the horizon scanning selection. The relevance to productivity, regional applicability, foresight, intelligence itself. It's actually the process of prioritizing within the foresight principles. That's one steering factor, and it's called the expert interpretation. So, meaning that I've done the selection. Let's go to the productivity trends. The six trends that we have selected to be presented. The first category are the social trends. From that side, I've selected microcredential mobility networks. This trend reflects a global movement towards more modular, competency-based learning systems. But its emergence in late 2025 is significant because institutions and employers are now beginning to interlink these credentials across borders. For APO economies, this means that talent mobility becomes far easier, reducing mismatch between available skills and national productivity needs. I would emphasize how Asia's rapid industrial upgrading from semiconductors to green energy creates pressure for talent pipelines that can scale quickly. Microcredentials lower the barrier to re-entry into the workforce, shorten educational cycles, and help employers verify skills instantly. The policy opportunity lies in harmonizing credential recognition, especially across ASEAN and South Asia, where migration flows are already strong. Ultimately, this trend supports labor productivity by matching people to jobs faster and more accurately. Next trend is from technological side, and from this base, I have selected AI-generated operational twins for public services. Operational twins are the next evolution of digital twins. Instead of modeling physical assets, they model operational sequences, how a service actually works in real time. In late 2025, several prototypes were showcased internationally, and Asian governments began considering them for process-heavy domains such as hospital administration and urban transport optimization. What this enables is a shift from reactive to predictive management. Instead of waiting for backlogs or inefficiencies to appear, an AI system can detect them early and propose target improvements. For APO economies, this is crucial. Many agencies are under-resourced, and operational twins reduce the workload tied to diagnostics, auditing, or process redesign. Policies should focus on data standards, cybersecurity, and ensuring human oversight. Done correctly, these models can become powerful productivity accelerators. Next set is from environmental side, and from here I have selected heat adaptive infrastructure planning systems. Actually, if you recall from the previous session, there was a productivity trend related to the heat regulations as well, but this is a little bit from other angle, so this is chosen as well. So heat is becoming a structural constraint on productivity, especially in construction, logistics, agriculture, and public services. What is new in late 2025 is emergence of predictive planning tools that use climate models to forecast high heat periods and automatically adjust schedules materials, and staffing. This extends beyond occupational health into capital productivity. Fewer heat-related stoppages support smoother project execution. For APO economies, these include both tropical and rapidly urbanizing regions. Adapting these tools early can reduce long-term costs and support resilience. Governments may need to update procurement rules to require heat-adaptive tools for public infrastructure tenders. Next set comes from side of economic, and from here I have chosen cross-border resilience corridors. Resilience corridors are rapidly emerging as a response to global uncertainty, whether from conflict, climate events, or market volatility. What makes the late 2025 period notable is the shift from concepts to coordinated planning. Governments and industries are now funding feasibility studies and pilot roads. For Asian economies, these corridors can materially improve productivity by stabilizing supply inputs, reducing shipping times, and giving exporters more reliable market access. These also tie into green transitions. Some corridors are co-designed with renewable energy grids and cross-border battery storage facilities. However, they require political cooperation, often across countries with differing regulatory cultures. APO economies can benefit by positioning themselves as strategic nodes in these emerging networks. And the next set is coming from political side. And from this set, I have selected evidence-led anti-corruption automation. And if you recall from the previous session, the anti-corruption theme was in one of the previous sessions mentioned as well as one of the productivity trends. But again, the approach in this trend is a little bit different from the previous one. The political economy of productivity is often overlooked. Corruption directly lowers output through misallocation and inflated costs. In quarter four of 2025, several governments began piloting automated systems that flag unusual spending, contract patterns, or delivery delays. These systems do not replace auditors, but amplify their ability to review thousands of transactions quickly. For APO economies, many of which are investing heavily in infrastructure, this can safeguard return on investments and public trust. The key is to set governance frameworks that ensure audit automation is transparent, accountable, and free from political misuse. And finally, values, that's the last and the sixth category we are going through. And from this set, I have selected ethical AI deployment standards for productivity systems. Value-based governance is becoming central to technological productivity. During quarter four of 2025, several global institutions released AI ethic guidelines touching workplace automation, public services, and algorithmic transparency. Asia is increasingly aligned with these frameworks to ensure AI adaptation does not erode trust. From productivity standpoint, ethical safeguards are not constraints. They are enablers. They ensure AI can scale sustainability across sectors. For APO economies, adopting such standards early can position them as trusted digital partners while protecting workers and citizens. These were the 6 productivity trends selected for the final quarter of this year to be presented to you. Now some highlights or summary of the content. It is presented here. So first, boosting competitiveness in digital first Asia. AI data governance and workflow optimization tools help APO members cut waste and deliver fast, higher quality services. So that kind of benefits we can see from this set. Building resilience in the face of demographic and climate pressures. AI-assisted operations and climate adaptive planning sustain productivity despite aging workforces and rising heat risks. Shaping inclusive and trusted growth pathways. Emerging AI standards and transparency expectations show trust is becoming a core productivity enabler. Then we have a couple other key productivity opportunities by APO domain, which we can see from the bottom of the slide. But let's go to the we have couple questions to be highlighted from this setup. So I'll finish the presentation at this point. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Dr. Kuosa, for that stimulating and very practical sharing of the latest signals. I will now ask a few follow-up questions to you to help our audience translate these signals into what to do next for them, especially for those in APO member countries, other individual or policymaker organization, any relevant parties, stakeholders out there. So the first question is about this. So among the 6 trends, which one do you think that are most likely to create measurable productivity gains in Asia within, let's say, in the next 3 to 5 years? Please also state the reason why you selected maybe 2 or 3 out of those 6 trends. Please, Dr. Kuosa.
Yes, I would take first the AI-generated operational twins for public services. It has been assessed that this is actually this is actually able to increase the operational efficiency by 20 to 30% in the public sector. Next, I would take evidence-led anti-corruption automation. It is, of course, difficult to give any assessment if the public sector or in procurements and so on, if the anti-corruption can be lowered, how big a productivity impact it would bring, but it potentially may bring a very much productivity increase. At least the delivery times, the costs of the project and so on can be lowered, and that can be seen as a part of increased productivity. The third one could be ethical AI deployment standards for productivity systems. And this again is something which is difficult to measure exactly how big potential there is, but it is anyways. This has big potential because if AI is being utilized and deployed much more broadly in productivity systems, and we can be more trust to the AI systems more heavily. That has a big potential for the productivity gains within Asia markets.
Right. So looking back at those 6 emerging trends, so for productivity policymakers, what is the most realistic first move to avoid reacting too late? Maybe it's piloting, setting up regulations, increase the capacity or capability, or maybe partnership. I don't know. Which one do you think that is among the first thing that the policymaker needs to do? Maybe you could pick and choose one as an example to respond to this question, Dr. Kuosa.
Perhaps partnerships and pilots could be those to start with.
Right. Okay. Could you please elaborate more? Why is it partnership, not regulation? Because policymakers, maybe their nature is mostly toward regulating. The first reaction usually is about that, right? So could you please elaborate more?
I would assume that cross-border partnerships which allow shared actions may enhance the first real impact in the market. So pilots, partnerships may enhance activity at the very first place. Regulations, budgeting, building infrastructure might require a little bit more time and resources, so those might come later.
Right. So now let's move on the question related to the readiness, right? If you're talking about developing countries, of course, looking back again to those 6 emerging trends, that there are certain level of readiness, right? There are this gap between matured countries and developing, let's say, maybe in terms of the data, talent, governance, budget, and which are the typical readiness that we could see in this particular case, and how should the government stage their adoption, meaning viewing how is the best approach to adopt that. Dr. Kuosa, what do you think?
Well, regulations and policy changes are quite typical gaps and could say bottlenecks of development in very many places. Budgets, of course, it's always a bottleneck, but that's something which comes later. It naturally comes later. So it can be solved out. But regulations and policy changes, those are probably the biggest readiness gaps.
All right. So let's say if one among those 6 trends scaling up, becoming more and more visible in our daily life, for example, what are the best productivity measurement, that we should sort of apply to track the progress of the application adoption of those trends, something that is beyond GDP measurement, something that is beyond the conventional measurement of productivity. Maybe we could say trust, compliance, or resilience in society as a whole. So what do you think, Dr. Kuosa?
Those that you mentioned, they are good ways to measure. But alongside with these, perhaps we could consider some sort of measurement regarding citizens' happiness, or assessing how good the services that are delivered actually are. So better services, and also brand value. So the countries that are utilizing these new approaches may actually inform market the new outcomes of these pilots, projects, or processes, and that can actually enhance the brand value of the nation.
So right. So you mentioned about micro-credential before. If these micro-credentials become passport-like, what should the policymakers, the government of APO member countries to do to ensure the quality and recognition, maybe standards, accreditation, alignment with employer needs, or maybe there has to be something like regional frameworks for this? What do you think, Dr. Kuosa?
Perhaps there could be some sort of like blockchain type of verification system for the microcredentials could be established, and that requires, of course, shared standards. So a combination of shared standards and verification, which is ensured, like blockchain. That could be the way to actually build the trusted platform.
So thank you. This is going to be my next question. Is going to be my last question to you. This is about the operational twin. So where should the government start if it wants to pilot an operational twin? So what service area that is most suitable? Maybe permits, licensing, inspection, social services, and what kind of data governance that is non-negotiable in this case, Dr. Kuosa?
Well, there are some Asia governments who have already considered process-heavy domains where the digital twins could be introduced, and these include such as hospital administration and urban transport optimization. So such heavy domains, those are the ones where the productivity gain has the biggest potential naturally. And as said, some governments have already made some considerations, at least for these domains. The other part of your question was about what data governance is non-negotiable. Wasn't that the question? That is that part of the question might be. I don't have answer to that at the moment.
All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Tuomo Kuosa, for your clarity and the depth that you brought to us in today's discussions. And also my sincere thanks to everyone who joined us and contributed your attention and perspective to this talk. So to recap, this quarter we scanned thousands of foresight signals observed between October and December and distilled them into 6 emerging productivity trends structured across STIP-V domains: social, technological, economic, environmental, political, and values. Importantly, these are practical signals, not something that distant or speculative scenarios, meaning that they are already forming the condition in which productivity decisions will be made. So what I take away is a clear, optimistic message for APO member economies as follows. First, to compete in digital-first Asia, we must modernize workflows and services using AI, stronger data governance, for example, operational tools that reduce waste and improve speed and quality. Second, resilience is now a productivity strategy. AI-assisted operation and climate adaptive planning can help sustain performance despite aging workforces and rising heat risk. Third, trust and standards are not afterthought. They are productivity enablers. As expectation for transparency and ethical deployment rise, trust becomes a core input to inclusive growth. So we will be back for the next quarterly P Trends sessions. Until then, let us keep scanning the signals and, more importantly, translating them into practical actions that strengthen productivity across our region. So thank you for being with APO, and I wish you a productive and purposeful start to 2026. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.